just talking about counting down. I was doing like 5, 7, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, and they said that was the way they counted their New Year's Eve.
He's special.
It was off on New Year's Eve anyway.
Why?
My phone was 12 o'clock and they were still doing the countdown on TV.
Well, it takes a long time.
Oh, it's just like, whoop, there it goes.
I said,
whoop, there it is. Oop, there it is.
Then I asked someone at work and they said the same thing. So I said, good, it wasn't just me. Because I thought, like, I have one service, my husband has one service, and I was like, oh, it's mine.
Oh, it's mine.
I think it was at 12:01 we were asleep.
So. Well, welcome back. We're back again for another episode. And this is Tracy. Mama T's back. Angie said she was coming back. And we're missing one. If you don't know who it is, we do. And it's Dana. She had unexpected. She had to go to the house and do some things. There's an emergency for her. So we miss you. We miss you. We miss you. We miss you. And I'm Roger, and this is Armchair Sports. Glad you got to be with us. If you've noticed, we took last week off. Everybody enjoy your holidays?
Had a good holiday.
We had a good holiday.
Had a great holiday. I do want to say we're dedicating this show right here to Philip Hoffman. He passed away 2 weeks ago, and he's in our hearts and our prayers. And we have several people inside the studio that you guys can't see. And this was Philip's gig. This was what Philip liked to do. This was what was him. And we're gonna put this out for you. All right. Anyway, so now a couple things, some housekeeping stuff. We're in a new studio. My youngest son is sitting. He's hiding from the camera. Brady's here, our writer for the show. And for our website, he doesn't want to be on camera. I don't know why, because he's never been camera shy before.
He wrote all our incredible bios on our website.
All our bios, and
you flatly know I graduated high school at a time before.
he didn't know how far back to go with her. And then just off the screen there, and on the couch is Sylvia Hoffman. She's in studio with us. She said she wanted to come see why I stay here so late at night on Tuesday nights and I can't make it home. So. Now she'll know, but this is not really that type of show this week because for those of you who don't know, Saturday mornings we'll go live on Facebook. We will not be live on TV until April. We're taking a hiatus from TV, and we'll be back there. Contract's already signed, so we may be adding another one. We're not sure yet. We're looking at that. That's the little housekeeping rules. Now we're gonna get on to what we do best and talk about sports. So the first thing we want to talk about is Angie's going to bring it up.
I
guess
no,
not.
we're not. We're talking about it.
She's like, no, I don't want to do it.
But Austin State University hired themselves a new head coach. You know, we lost Gary Goff, who took them to the national championship last year, but they kind of blew it.
They choked. Let's just say it out loud. They choked.
It was not good. But anyway, Gary Goff got a job at McNeese University in Louisiana. He's going to be a Cajun now. But he was our coach for a couple of years. But now we got Tremaine Jackson, head football coach at Valdosta State University. He comes from us from Colorado Mesa University, where he was head coach for 2 seasons. He had a good record, 10-3, 8-2. He took them deep into the playoffs last year, so we're really excited about that. Well, there's going to be a big press conference introducing him to everybody who wants to go. January 6, 2022, at 2 p.m. in the arena of the complex. If anybody wants to go meet Tremaine Jackson, ask him questions, check him out, look him over, see if he passes muster.
Let's just
got a good history.
Well, that's where I've got to disagree with you because I don't. We were talking about this before the show, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. We're gonna go straight out to it. His record, you just said he was 10-2.
10-3.
10-3.
8-2.
He was 8-2 this past season. 8-2 is a good record.
That's what I said.
It is, but when you have what we've had here at Valdosta State for the last 4 or 5 years, and we get to the national championship game, and our head coach is thinking about going somewhere else, so we lose. Then the problem that I have is you're going out here to get a guy that is basically. Hold on, wait. This guy is. Let's think about this. He's 8-2, 10-3, 8-2, or whatever.
10-3.
So, I mean.
Okay, but you have to remember, 2020 was probably a super modified season. They may have only played 3 or 4 games.
Exactly. So my whole point, that means his record isn't as good as it really should be for picking somebody that it should be like that. So that's just what I'm saying. I think we could have got somebody better. Let's see what he does.
So you're saying the 10-2 is made
You're giving
up?
Goff a lot of credit for his 2 years here when one of those years they didn't play.
Yeah.
So
you're
No,
saying
I'm
the
not giving
10-3
Goff-
is not a
look,
real...
No, I'm saying the 10-3. If you look back at what Jackson's record is, you look back at his record. One of those seasons was COVID season, so yeah, everybody wants to win in COVID, right? Then you guys are saying Goff didn't have a season,
they did.
so
and probably the team that he came from didn't have one either.
So then the last 2 years, his records weren't 10-2, and so where's the mix up there? Was that the last 2 seasons that they actually played? Exactly. That's my whole point. No, it's confusing to me.
He's got an excellent record. He was a defensive line coach at Texas State.
Right.
Defensive coordinator at Abilene Christian.
Right.
He served as assistant head coach at the University of Sioux Falls.
Right.
Where they were combined 32-5 over 4 seasons.
And he was a linebacker coach before that, and then right before that, he was an assistant coach. He did 2 internships. One he did with Dallas, and the other he did with San Francisco.
Before you decide he's not qualified.
I can make an opinion, and my opinion is I think we could have got somebody that was a little better qualified. That's just my opinion. I think that what he has on the table right now, what BSU's offering, I think you could have got somebody better for the money.
I think he's going to do just fine.
Look, I'm gonna be at the games.
Blazers, you're gonna be fine. We're gonna disagree.
I'm gonna be at the games, and I'm gonna cheer for the Blazers just as well as I did this year. But you're gonna get my opinion, and that's my opinion. And we'll see. We'll see how he does. If he comes out 8-2, I'm gonna say I told you so. Anyway,
there's nothing wrong with 8-2.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
Wrong with 8-2.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Look.
Goff's record coming into Valdosta, his 3 previous seasons were 5-6, 8-3, and 6-5.
There you go. And look what happened. He ended up leaving.
To the national championship.
He did.
You know why did he take the national championship? It was the coach before him that actually did that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You play on the coaches before him.
The people who played on VSU's team this season are Goff's recruits.
No, they're not. He was only here for 2 years, and they didn't play the year before.
3rd year. He was in 19, 20, and 21. So those are Goff's recruits.
I don't think so because the golf recruits, those seniors were the freshmen of the people, the coaches before that.
Oh, no.
So anyway, that's how I'm going to see it.
I was going to say that's
just
just
argues to argue.
And that's it. I don't want to argue. We had this conversation before the show, before we started doing this, did we not?
Can y'all tell their husband and wife?
I said, Dana sitting here and you sitting here, I do the same thing. She only lives with me half time. The rest of the time she goes to Columbus. Anyway.
All your business.
So anyway, what my business? Everybody knows my business. I don't hide anything.
I'm talking about her business.
She's not here. She goes. What? Everybody knows about us. We've been doing this how long? Yeah. If you don't know about us, just Google us. Anyway. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna talk Florida. No, we can't talk Florida because they're not there.
I'm still paying for therapy for his Florida's.
We're still taking money for his therapy.
Yeah,
our GoFundMe is still taking money.
Donations for our GoFundMe for Roger's therapy.
Yep.
Because Florida didn't
McDonald's won't even let us do it.
Florida didn't just lose in the Gasparilla Bowl. They got whooped. By what? UCF?
Yeah.
University of Central Florida?
They did. I ain't gonna lie to you. They did. That's why, you know what? That's why we don't have a coach right now. We do have a coach. We got a Raging Cajun.
UCF was a good team now.
But that's why we were at the bottom of the heap of the SEC too. I mean, let's look. You know what? The dogs were walking over there. What were we stepping in? What the dogs left on the ground. So, let's face it. Florida, and I just spit all over that microphone, so don't use that next. Florida just really stunk it up this year. And if you can't admit it, then you ain't a real Gator fan.
I personally enjoyed it.
That's right. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's do this. Let's go on. Everybody now, we all know that you've got Georgia and Alabama. Who'd have thunk it? Anyway, at the beginning of the season, I said those were the 2 teams that were actually going to be in the finals. Guess what? Roger was right again. As usual.
Third person.
I mean, what can I say? I can't get them too fat. She'll do it for me. Thank you. All right, there we go. So that's how I look at it. They're right where they should be. Everybody's where they should be. The question is, can Kirby Smart get smart? Yeah.
Exactly.
Can he figure out his head coach? His head coach meaning Nick Saban. So the question is,
Farmer.
no, that's still his daddy because he ain't whipped him yet. So daddy's been spanking him since the day he came to Alabama. So the question is, can he quit spanking him? Can he finally turn around and do
The question
something?
is, can Kirby figure it out, get it together, and have his team beat Alabama?
Is that what I was trying to say? I think that's.
I think that was.
I think I said that in a nutshell
He went
myself.
way around the bush to get to that.
Well, let's do it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it real quick. We've got the
Okay, let's
stats.
look
We've
at
got
their
everything.
stats.
All right. So let's move to wherever it is. Let's see. Georgia's stats. Trace, you want to read what the team leader stats are for Georgia?
So Georgia's got, I know y'all hate it when I say this, but little Stetson Bennett. Who I
You always
love.
say little.
Because
He
they
is.
list him at 5'11", but even the people on the team
I'm
are
gonna
not
tell you,
going,
yeah.
they are being awfully generous.
He is such an
He's not a big
underdog.
boy.
He is such an underdog that he is going to. He's impressing me. I just hope he can come into this game and play a little bit better than he did last time.
I love Stetson. He's smart. He's from right here in Georgia. He's an academic All-American. He's a smart kid, but he's
2,600.
it says 5'11" and 190. He's not 5'11", but anyway.
He's
So
about
he's
5'10".
had, he's thrown for 2,638 yards this year. His
Yep.
completion percentage is 64.4. So that's pretty good.
So
Only
with,
thrown 7 interceptions all year. So
27 touchdowns.
27. He's
But
had a
look
good
at-
year.
look at it. Here's my thing is, and every time we play, you can ask Sylvia because sometimes you're at work. And me and Sylvia is a diehard Georgia Bulldog. She will sit there. Oh, look, see, she spoke up. But the thing is, she'll watch that with me. And every time they come on, the best player on the field, nobody hardly ever talks about it. And now he's starting to get some recognition. The question is, can he do it against Alabama? And that is Zamir White.
You're talking about James Cook is the one you
The Cook is the one, but James White is the one that has the most yards. Cook has most
Cook
his
is the one you
percentage.
keep saying is the best player
Right.
on the team. But
Right.
Cook
But
I got that
Zamir
confused.
White.
he's a dual threat, though. He's got
That's the one Sylvia likes. Sylvia likes White.
651 yards rushing, but he's also got 25 catches, 260. He's a really good receiver out of the backfield as
Right.
well. So
But the thing,
kind of makes him more of the dual threat than Zamir White.
right, exactly. But if you look at the way he rushes the ball, he reminds me of Henry. When he runs straight up, he's not as big, of course, but nobody's is that big. But he rushes that exact same way, and I think that's what he rushes. He reminds me a little bit of Herschel Walker, the way Herschel used to run.
I think he reminds me more of MJD.
Maurice
Herschel
Jones-Drew.
Walker
Yeah.
was the man.
Well, it's one of those things that he just
215.
he stands
Not
up
that big of a
straight,
guy.
but
How big?
it's the
I'm
way he
gonna see how big
runs.
Herschel Walker was.
Huh?
How big was Herschel Walker?
He was huge, and then one of the biggest things that Georgia has to do, and they have not been able to do it against Alabama, and that is stop the passing game. They were able to hold the running game, but they weren't able to go ahead with the stop. Go ahead, Brady.
While playing, he was listed at 6'2", 222 pounds.
6'2", 222, which is what is
Taller.
yeah,
Zamir's 6
Yeah.
feet 2 something.
But 30 pounds difference.
right.
Yeah.
So the thing is, yeah, he was a bulldozer. Where what's his name is not. He actually is he can see the hole and hit the hole quicker than Walker could. I tell you what, we'll talk more about this when we circle back in just a minute.
Don't want to circle back anymore.
We don't
Need a
censor
website
that. I'm just
for your
kidding.
business? Let Shadowfox Design help. We will design and build your website so you have more time for your business. We will help with all your online needs so you have more time for your customers. Learn more and get started now by going to www.shadowfox.design. Research less and relax more with eTravel Anytime. Let us help you decide which sandals destination is best for your romantic getaway, or help you choose the family resort that is best for your vacation. We can also help you decide which cruise is best for you and your family. Tell us your preferences and we can narrow down your choices. Contact us today so we can help you plan your next vacation. Call 229-300-3691.
She's got to keep going.
On.
She's going, she's trying to find Alabama on her paperwork, guys.
There
There it is. There's Alabama.
Found it.
Heisman Trophy winner Alabama with Bryce Young, the quarterback.
Go
Never
ahead.
heard of him until the SEC championship game.
You're not going to do Alabama for us? You're an Alabama fan? I guess she's not an Alabama fan. Did y'all see that? My ears are burning over here. All right, so Bryce Young. Bryce Young is, look, here's how I look at Bryce Young. There's nobody else for him to compete against this year because I thought they had a defensive end from Michigan was the runner-up. So what does that tell you? Hold on. I had a call from California and somebody hung up on me. But anyway, so Bryce Young, to me, he didn't have the competition that these others have the past couple of years as far as quarterback for anybody to stand out, for anybody to say he's better than. I mean, he had other players there, but let's look at what other players are doing, and they're not doing much, especially at the beginning of the season. Florida held him in check. Yeah, Florida won. Alabama won. Georgia they beat Georgia. Auburn went into double overtime. He couldn't figure them out.
He
So
got sacked 7 times on that.
yeah, so my whole thing here is if you look at what Young's done, I don't think he has the resume. Personally, the only reason I feel that he got it because there was no other talent there. I mean, the defensive end, yeah, okay,
No
his
other
sacks and
talent
everything.
in the whole NCAA or
Evidently,
no other talent in Alabama?
No other talent in NCAA right now, and the reason to be a Heisman Trophy winner. If there was, wouldn't there be a Heisman Trophy winner other than him? So they're saying he was the best.
Someone from Alabama won it.
They did, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young won it.
And he's a little undersized, actually, for a quarterback. He's only 6 feet tall.
I don't even think he's 6 foot.
194.
Yeah, I don't think he's 6
So
foot.
he's a little undersized as well, but he's quick. And SEC championship game, he
he
had
threatened.
never run before then, and then he ran all over the field.
I was going to say not only that, but he was threading the needle too. So as he had 2 or 3 great games right there towards the end, which actually boosted him above some other teams like Pitt, the dude from the quarterback from Pitt, but he was only third in the runner up. So
In the runner-up?
in the runner up, I couldn't get it out. So,
But they're without their best receiver. Alabama won't have John Mechie.
right,
He got hurt in, I think, the SEC championship game. He's their best receiver. Got hurt towards knee up, I think. So he's not going to be there for the final. But on the Georgia side, their best receiver, which is tight end Brock Bowers, who's a true freshman,
correct.
has the most receiving yards for Georgia this year, 846. He's got a banged up shoulder. And if you notice, he wasn't in probably most of the second half of the Orange Bowl. He didn't play that much because they were like, his shoulder's been hurting him for a couple of weeks. We sat him down. He kept trying to get back in that game.
Yeah, he did.
But
Because they knew they were going to
Kirby
need
was like, "No, we need you for the next one, so we're gonna
Let you rest.
We're gonna sit you the rest of this game." Because
Well, and that's if you what's Georgia's tight end?
Brock Bowers.
Okay, there's another one. What's the other kid, the sophomore?
John Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick.
He's a senior, I think.
Yeah. So one of the problems that you have is when Georgia
He's a big boy. He's like 6'6".
yeah, he's a big kid, and the thing is when they get into that 2 tight ends, everybody knows where you're going. So Georgia doesn't. I understand that Bowers is their main receiver. Let's go to Bowers. The problem is go to this other kid once in a while. He can catch the ball. He's proven that he can catch it. The thing in the Michigan game, Bowers was on the mark. That kid's hands?
He dropped it.
That kid's hands are this long, dude. When he caught that first pass down the sideline, left sideline. Yeah.
Well, he's 6'4".
I mean, he reminds me. We were
He
talking about
should
this
be
the
able
other
to
day.
catch it.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day, though. He reminds me personally, more of a Gronk. Man, maybe I'm talking about it with my brother,
I
but
was going Travis Kelce.
and I think you said Kelsey at the time.
Fitzpatrick's 6'7".
Yeah,
He's big.
He has to. His hands are
they're huge.
like that.
Yeah. So the thing is, can Georgia get their tight ends involved in the ball game? They took them away in the last game. Georgia couldn't pass the ball. They had Stetson Bennett completely knocked out of the ball game. So the question is what?
I said, ask your mom. Can they?
Oh yeah.
They will. We're gonna will it.
You gonna will it? You gonna will it in, Sylvia?
Yep.
Speak it into existence
Yep.
right now. Georgia's
I think so.
gonna win.
Say it out loud.
Because you know,
Coming back.
if Brock is healthy, him and Lil Stetson, they have a thing.
Well, here's the thing.
Stetson help him heal.
So you're gonna
Zamir
pick.
White and James Cook, they're really good at catching passes. They have to not give up on their run game though. Georgia can in the SEC championship game for whatever reason they abandoned their run game and they tried to throw it and that's not what Georgia does.
Because they got
Georgia
behind.
runs the ball, so you got to stick with your run game. Let your offensive line, who all weigh over 300 pounds, do their jobs.
Yep.
And then you can pass because they got to watch for the run. They got great running backs. You got to stick with your run.
Yeah, and you know what? So let's do this. So that's your say, and that's how you're putting it. And you want who to win? What's the score?
Georgia. Oh God, a score.
That's hard.
35-14, Georgia.
Oh, you done lost your mind. You seriously. See, she done gone crazy. See all that gray in her hair? She done gone crazy.
That's where I'm going.
What about?
I'm
what
saying
about
defense shows up this time. And,
Not 35. Maybe like
So you're going Georgia too?
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not one wearing an orange.
Go ahead.
Maybe I wouldn't say 35. Maybe 24.
See, y'all don't
I
think
don't know.
y'all don't think Alabama's
10?
gonna score.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't think Alabama's gonna score?
No.
Yeah, and their
I don't
defense,
know.
Georgia defense better tighten it
I
up. I'm
think
just
Jordan
telling you
Davis,
now.
I think Jordan Davis and the crew are going to show up this time. They got humiliated last time, and they are
Which
going
is
to show up.
which is a
show out this
possibility,
write
but
this
you still cannot give that much leeway to an Alabama team that just spanked your rear end. So here's how I
time.
look
Do
at it.
whatever I want to do.
They did. They spanked.
Let's write it down. You
They
wrote.
spanked you.
What
They
do
spanked
you
you guys.
say?
Without a doubt, they spanked us the first time.
I
They
say,
did, but we came back mad.
I say 42-35. And Sylvia,
What do you say?
hold on, Sylvia, bring me who I'm picking. Sylvia, bring me who I'm picking.
Let's write it down.
Bring me who I'm picking. I gave it to you before.
Oh.
Sylvia, this is who I'm picking.
What do you say, Miss Sylvia? What do you
Go
say?
Dogs.
So I'm going 42-35.
Okay.
24-17, Georgia.
See,
Hey.
y'all.
I said
y'all-
24-10, Georgia. She said 24-17.
24-17.
I said 24-10, Georgia.
And y'all, I'm gonna tell you. And
What'd you say?
Dana would pick Alabama.
35-14. Well, that's why Dana's not here.
Dana will pick Alabama. I'm telling you right now, Dana is all about Alabama. She loves Alabama. Alabama is probably
Let me call her and see
her
that.
best friend.
Do something
She
wrong,
said
Dana.
she said Alabama is probably the best team in the SEC and probably in the NCAA.
Let me call her
And
and
she
say
said
that
for the
she
last
said that.
I'm thinking Dana
4
didn't say
years,
all that.
she said that Alabama would be the winners. So
I'm gonna call.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Go
tell her
ahead,
and
go
say.
ahead.
I'm be like.
Yeah, you go right
I'm
ahead.
saying
Did you
that
say-
big
gonna
old
text her.
Jordan Davis, the moving
sure.
mountain, is gonna that defense and the Kobe Dean. They're gonna show up and they're gonna
And you know what? I
put
think
Bryce Young on his back a few times.
they're going to this time. I really do. I agree
And
with you.
if Jordan Davis tackled me. First of all, you'd have to call the corner because he's like 350 pounds of
Solid.
man. And
Yeah.
then I would get up and hobble off the field and go,
And then
that's
you'll
okay.
say, "I just got tackled by."
But here,
I would
here's
get off and hobble off the field and go, I'm good. Thanks.
I
I'll
just-
just sit over here for the rest of the game.
Well, I know. Of course, she said Alabama, but I need to know score. That's what she said. Alabama. You know my pick.
see, and
We'll
so
get the pick. We'll
Dana,
get.
you're
We'll
just
get
on.
it.
so
Dana.
that's where I'm telling you. She's,
Okay, here she goes. Oh, and then she's just gonna send me a meme that says "Bama baby." I need it in black and white. Though. I need to say
you know what? And
score.
I'm gonna tell you, if they cannot get a hold of Young and they cannot stop the run this time, which they could not do before, if they can't stop the run, then Alabama's gonna walk all over them just like they walked
I
on
say they got
for
it
the
this time.
SEC championship.
Okay, Dana says 34-7.
She doesn't even think Georgia's gonna score with 7 points.
Barely
Look,
7. And that's
I'm
probably
giving
giving
them
it. Let me
32.
write this down.
I'm giving Alabama 35 points myself.
34-7,
So-
Dana.
All right. While they're keeping score, there's a couple things we need to talk about here. We're going to talk about Antonio Brown. We're moving on to the professionals now. We got that out of the way.
Epic meltdown
Oh,
of Antonio Brown.
Greg
goodness.
still has hope.
So wait a minute. How long do we have before we're going to go to Monty? 2 minutes with Monty.
We can do that here in the next.
Okay, let's do.
it now if you want.
No. Let's do it. Let's do it right after. Tracy's gonna. We're gonna talk about Antonio Brown for a minute, and then we'll do Monty. All right, talk about
Anybody
Antonio.
who watched sports this weekend knows Antonio Brown, who was playing with the Buccaneers. You know, he jumped on that Tom Brady bandwagon and won himself Super Bowl last year.
Tom Brady put his stock on
Anyway.
on Antonio. That's why
So
he went
Antonio Brown
yeah.
played with the Steelers from 2010, 2018. I think they won a Super Bowl somewhere in there too. Got essentially cut from the Steelers because he threw
'Cause
something
his
at one of his teammates.
Anger issues.
He has
Yep.
anger issues. Threw something at a teammate, but I think compounding that, I think he had some domestic violence issues.
Oh, that was
as
all over
well.
TikTok.
Yeah, he
So
just
His
got-
video where
Then
he
he
got
got
arrested.
traded to the Raiders, and then he essentially said he wanted a different helmet that they wouldn't give him because it didn't meet code. And then he tweeted that he wanted to be released from the Raiders in a big tweet.
Oh, I didn't know that's how you
Yeah,
did it.
it was a.
I'm sure
crazy-
he's lost a lot of money over.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry,
all
an
of this.
Instagram post. Asked for his release in an Instagram post, all because they wouldn't give him the helmet he wanted.
So he breaks up with them
There were
over
new
Instagram.
There were new helmet.
Breaking up over text.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't break up with football
There were
over
new
Instagram
helmet
posts.
There were
or
new rules
text.
about the helmet that season because they're trying to stop all these traumatic brain injuries that are happening with football. So
he wanted a lighter
helmets
helmet.
had
Right, but he
helmets had
wanted a
new
lighter.
rules. He didn't want the new helmet. He wanted the old helmet. They wouldn't give it to him because it would be fines and terrible things, and so they.
Yeah, but
So he signed a deal with the Patriots, and then he got accused of sexual assault, and the Patriots went, no thank you, you're gone. Because the Patriots don't play.
Nope.
And then he got charged with felony burglary and 2 misdemeanors for something about a truck company.
All right, here's the thing. Oh,
So he's just
listen,
like a
stop.
straight up
Then he got
like
suspended 8 games for multiple violations of the personal conduct policy.
From 2018
he's lost a lot of money basically in the last
Yeah.
4 years.
from 2018 to 2022.
Wait, the best
This-
part's coming.
Go ahead.
He signed with the Buccaneers, helped them win the Super Bowl, re-signed with the Buccaneers, but then he got suspended for 3 games because he faked his COVID card. He faked a COVID vaccine card and was not complying with COVID policies. Because if you don't have to be vaccinated, but you have to certain things you have to do if you're not vaccinated. You have to wear a
Get
mask
tests
when you're
every
around other
week.
people. You have to get tested all the time.
Right.
He essentially faked himself with COVID. Him and 3 other players, I don't remember who else it was, faked COVID vaccine cards. He got caught, so he got suspended for 3 games. And then just January 2nd, evidently he got pulled out of the game for some reason. He had a meltdown, took off his shirt.
in the middle of the third
pads,
quarter, just
threw
threw it all
everything
into
down
the stands.
and walked off this
Yep.
field
Okay,
in nothing
so-
but his pants, flashing the peace signs
Yep.
at people.
So he evidently had a conversation with Tom Brady. He was pulled to the bench. Antonio Brown and another wide receiver were sitting there. Tom Brady walks up to Antonio Brown. We don't know exactly what he said. He said something to Antonio Brown. Then he said something to this other wide receiver that was sitting there. And Tom Brady walked off, and you could see his face. He looked kind of pissed off. So what he did was
You think?
no. Well, it's all in the video. I watched it today. I don't know what he said because I couldn't hear it. But he took off his shoulder pads, and he threw his shoulder pads and all the stuff that he had right there. And there was some NFL stuff that he had too, like an iPad or something. Threw it all down right there. Started walking off, and as he started walking off, they were telling him to come back. And as they were telling him to come back,
It was Mike Evans, because Mike
Right.
Evans is the one who tried to calm him down.
so
Yep.
they were telling him to come back, and he just pulled away from them. And that's when he started throwing his gloves. He threw his gloves, pulled off his shirt, threw his shirt into the stands, and then he walked out high-fiving folks and
With the
giving
peace
them the
sign.
peace sign.
So his
So-
version, Antonio Brown's version, is he had to finish that game or play in something about he had
had
a
to
$1
have a
million
couple
clause that if he played in so many quarters, he got a $1 million bonus. And by them pulling him out, and telling
He
him he wasn't
couldn't
going to back
play.
then, he wasn't going to get that bonus.
He was three-
So supposedly, that's what he was mad about. He says they did it on purpose so they didn't have to pay him his bonus.
Right. Here's the whole thing.
But it's the way
You
he
act
acted
like a
after that.
baby, you get treated like a baby. He's been acting like a baby since 2018. He should not be in the league. I don't care if it's mental. When you have somebody, okay, let's quit blaming everything that's a human being in the NFL does. It's all because they were hitting the head too many times.
But you have so much money that you can get help for it.
That's not what I'm saying.
You have it first.
But you've got to
Yeah,
you've got to have it.
he goes-
My problem is just because he has a bad attitude and he doesn't like what's going on, he can throw a temper tantrum and get away with it. He's done it for the last 5 years. The point is, grow
just
up,
fine,
be a
though,
man,
money,
and
right?
do your job.
He won't do it for
and
the Buccaneers anymore because after
he's not going to do it to anybody.
after
NFL's
the-
No, NFL's not going to want. Like
after
they're going to
the
ban
game
him probably.
at the press conference. The coach Bruce Arians just said he is no longer a Buck. Move on.
That's it.
So
That's all you got to say. I mean, he.
So the thing is,
somebody else will take a chance on him.
these
He's
people-
a talented receiver.
these people need to
Somebody
grow
else will
up.
Give him a shot.
they're getting millions
But
of
there's
dollars
other
to play
kids that are
kids
waiting
game.
to play in line behind him that will play and won't act like
What
that.
was
Somebody
that?
else will give him a shot. Jaguars.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I think because
Will they take him?
with that
At
in
this
mind,
point,
I tell
we
you
would
what,
take Peyton Manning if he came out of retirement.
we're going to talk about some of those coaches that the Jaguars
they're
are actually
pretty
looking
bad. It's pretty bad.
They've all been booed before.
at. Yeah, probably. So let's go ahead. We're going
Not
to do
that
our
Peyton
2 minutes
Manning
with
was a
Monty.
bad person, but he's old and he can't play anymore.
We're going to do our
Right.
2 minutes with Monty, and then we'll circle back to the Jaguars and who they think who they're interviewing.
Time for Monty's 2-minute warning. Here are 3 things you do not need to do if you decide to call into a sports talk show. Don't ask the host how they're doing. Assume they're doing well enough to listen to your super important sports tape. Do not tell the host how long you've been listening to their show. Nobody cares. And you're wasting your big moment on the radio. Third thing, do not mention how long you've been a fan of the local team. I don't care if it's been 60 years. This is irrelevant and probably it's going to make listeners sad knowing that you've been a fan of, say, the Browns or the Falcons for that long. All right, moving on to the next section. 3 signs this should be your last season of fantasy football. You have no idea how much is in your 401k, but you know exactly how much you have in your DraftKings account. Number 2, you missed your kid's recital earlier in the year because you faked an illness so you can make draft night. The number 1 reason you shouldn't play fantasy football next year, you drafted your team based on advice from your wife's boyfriend. All right. Top 10 reasons Antonio Brown really left that game early the other day. Shirtless. Number 10, he left his stove on and had to go check it. Number 9, he forgot to set his fantasy team lineup and had to get home for the late game. Number 8, dude was having hot flashes, clearly. Number 7, he was trying out for the Sports Illustrated body issue. Don't even know if they do that anymore. Number 6, my man had a vaccine appointment at Kroger right beside the wine aisle. Number 5, he was trying to prove he's just as tough as those shirtless Green Bay fans. All right, down to the top 4 reasons Antonio Brown left that game early. Number 4, he has played for so many teams in the last few years, he thought he was in the wrong uniform and wrong stadium. Number 3, he was not allowed to use the Headspace app in the huddle. Number 2, the offensive line dared him to do it. And the number 1 reason he left early, he knew exactly how the game would end with Tom Brady throwing a late touchdown pass for the win. And, hey, turns out dude was right.
Should be playing basketball.
So he should be playing basketball. We're talking about what's his name, Aiden Hutchinson, with
Michigan.
that played against Georgia this past week.
He didn't get the Stetson though.
He's a big. Well, he got to him once. He did get to him once.
You got Stetson good up west.
Yeah, whatever. So here's what we're gonna do.
Ice skirty.
We're gonna cut to the chase here. So we're gonna go all the way to who we think and what we're looking at as far as the draft goes. And as of right now, and I am rooting for Jacksonville to lose. Yeah, me. As a season ticket holder, I have the right to do that.
They're gonna get the number 1 no matter what.
No, not necessarily, because what could happen is Detroit. If we win, Detroit could lose, and then they beat us in the tiebreaker.
Why?
It's in the stats. We'll read them later, but they do. Okay. I promise you. So right now, Jacksonville has the lead. The question is, You're a Jacksonville fan. You're a Jacksonville fan. They're saying Hutchinson's on the top. We don't need a quarterback. I know that Trevor has thrown 1,500 interceptions this year, but we don't need a quarterback. You got to get him. You got to get him some line, and he's got another year. So let's not go there with a quarterback. I don't think we should. That's me. I don't think we need a defensive end either. And everybody's picking this Hutchinson kid to go first overall.
We do. We could use a defensive end.
I don't. Here's why. I think if we're going to get somebody in the middle. So if you're going to go defense, get your boy from Georgia.
We haven't gotten to the quarterback all year. The Jaguars haven't. They need somebody on the defensive line. Defensive ends are more likely to get the quarterback. It
depends. If you got somebody on the inside, they're going to have to take. It's going to take two to block the boy in the middle.
We got Big Smoot.
So, if you got Smoot and you got him, that's going to pull the tackles. Are going to have to come down, which means you'll have the defensive ends at that point.
That other mountain of a man in there. He got two last names. I can't think of them.
I can never think of it.
Richardson something Richardson.
The whole point is they've got Ken Pickett from Pittsburgh. He did not impress me the other night when he played. I watched that ball game and I looked over at you and I was like, he did not. Yeah.
Here's what I say about the Jaguars. I love my Jaguars, but listen, if you get the number 1 pick, trade down for somebody who needs one of these people and get more picks out of them, because Lord knows we need people. We need some wide receivers. We need some offensive linemen. We need some defensive linemen. We need some cornerbacks. Essentially, we need a whole new team.
I was going to say the whole team needs to be replaced.
Everybody
and the
except
coach.
we don't need a running back. We don't need a quarterback. I think just about everybody. Well, we got Big Smith.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with your theory.
And Campbell. We keep Campbell. Everybody else we can just.
Here's the problem with your theory.
Although Cisco, I like him. He's looking good. So
but your theory has flaw in it. Your flaw is we have a running back. But right now, Robinson. Hold on. I know you said that. That's what I'm saying.
But you said your theory has a flaw.
Your theory has a flaw in it because ETN, number one, he's not been able to prove himself because he hasn't played this year. So he's like a number 1 pick that you've got coming back next year. But you don't know. You're not sure. And then you've got Robinson who's not going to play next year at all because I'm telling you, his Achilles, it takes almost, they said,
2 years.
For upwards of 12 to 16 months.
If he rehabs it correctly, he could be back.
To replace that?
6 to 8 months.
It's not,
but that's all your weight, too.
It's not.
It depends on the degree of his tear, and if he rehabs correctly, he could be back.
The degree of your tear is a tear is a tear of a tear of a tear.
There's a difference.
I don't know.
And
there's a rip.
A nurse saying.
There's a rip. There's a snatch. There's a tear. There's a. My whole point
hairline
is that they're saying he was done for the year. So
for this year, next year he'll be back.
Okay. Well, that's not my opinion. That's yours. And
with the flaw in it.
With the flaw in it.
With the literally, because he didn't say it. It's got a flaw in it. Not your opinion matters.
So
we have 2 running backs in ETN and Robinson who will both be back next year. ETN's going to have a fire under his butt because he's going to want to prove himself.
will, but he's not proven.
ETN's already got rhythm with Trevor Lawrence, so that's good. And he's very good at catching passes out of the backfield.
I can just sit here all day and listen to this.
ETN.
So
ETN hadn't caught a pass out of backfield in 2.5 years.
But
I'm just over here
he
like
was really good at it.
Well, that was 2.5 years ago on a college level. He hasn't played at a pros level. He doesn't know the speed, so he can't get the speed up to the game. Number one, it's going to take him at least 3 to 4 games, if not the whole season, to look at Trevor Lawrence. Everybody said, yeah, he's going to jump right in there. Yeah, he jumped right in there and threw 15 interceptions.
No, he didn't. Did he have 15?
Yeah, he's got 15 interceptions as of the other day. He's got more interceptions than he does touchdowns, which is 10.
Okay, but Walker Little, who had not played his entire senior year, stepped in and did not allow one person to get to the quarterback on the offensive line. He's a definite keeper.
Okay, I haven't got to the offensive line yet. We're still at running backs. The running back.
You're saying ETN's going to be fine.
I'm thinking ETN eventually will be, but he's coming off the injury. But Robinson coming straight off an Achilles, going to come right back into the ball game like that. Yeah. I totally disagree with you. So here's what I say.
Entire off season to
I say here's what you're going to do. It's okay. It's a possibility that you get him back. Let's say it's a possibility. So you have 2 running backs.
2 good running backs.
Where are you going to go? You don't need a quarterback. There's no sense in going defensive end. Go, like you said. Now, here I'm going to agree with you. I say, let's go back to Green Bay, who's going to win it. Wait a minute. No, Green Bay's going to win the Super Bowl. So let's take Green Bay's first-round pick. You take Green Bay's first-round pick, right? If you take their first-round pick, then You move back there. You give Green Bay. You give somebody
Bay?
that first pick. You listen to me. Because Aaron Rodgers ain't going to be there.
He's playing next year. Aaron Rodgers is going to die.
He's going to be the
field.
MVP this year. I don't know that he's going to be there next year because they still have to. He only did a 1-year contract or whatever it was. He had 1 year left. So, but you take somebody in the back end. You get a first. Maybe you get 2 first rounds and 2 second rounds, or a first round and 3 second rounds and a 4th round for your first round overall pick. Somebody who really needs that defensive end or who really needs a quarterback.
Isn't that what I said a minute ago?
I said I was going to agree with you before it was over with, but you wouldn't let me get there.
Remember how he gets
circled
around
back
this
to
way to come back.
See, if you
You're
would just
arguing a point
he
already made.
literally
if you
goes
would allow
around
me,
the block to come and say,
if you would have
doesn't
allowed me to get
Witness,
there, we'd have been there.
witness.
But you just kept going and going, and
He
you
argued
wouldn't
the
let
point
me.
already made.
Yep.
You wouldn't let me
I
finish.
say trade away number 1. Go back a few.
That's what I just
good
said.
offensive linemen.
But she said it first.
You can get
Exactly.
those
She
later.
said it first.
Because I told her the other
You
day
need
to say
some
this.
good wide receivers. Jacksonville needs some good wide receivers. I think at tight end we do okay.
Y'all
We
can
need
tell
some
y'all are married
cornerbacks.
because
Can you repeat that again? She was talking to me.
No, because I'm not talking to you anymore.
You
All
can
right,
tell
so-
you're married.
All right, so the thing is,
Okay.
Jacksonville, right as it stands right now, here are the picks.
Okay. Do it.
Who do you trade back? If you're going to trade back to one of these top 10, who do you pick? Who do you trade back to? You've got Jacksonville.
Who needs a quarterback
Hold
or a
on a minute.
defensive end?
You got to let me get them out first.
Projected.
Y'all quit projecting. Let me
Okay,
get
okay,
these
okay.
out first. Jacksonville is number 1. Detroit is number 2. Houston is number 3. The Jets are number 4. Giants
Yeah.
and JoJo, whatever
Joe
it is.
Judge.
Joe Judge, that man has lost his mind. Let me stop right there
Okay.
a minute. Now here I'm squirreling. Joe, whatever it is, JoJo, whatever his name
Joe
is,
Judge.
gets up in his press conference and said he's been there 2 years and he already has a culture that he's building. Dude, you don't even know what culture is. You ain't been there but 2 years. Give me a break.
You sound like a crack addict who was jonesing.
Then
Yeah, he
was
did. He went on
dogging
and
for
on
being
and on
in
and
New
on.
York because that's how he had to be a certain way because he was in New York.
Yeah.
So
The whole point is, Joe, you need
He
to
just
find
ran
somebody
forever.
else, somewhere else that's gonna believe
someone
that
else that
fool.
will listen
He
because
knew
we
That's
don't.
so
New York fans
stupid.
would boo him.
Right.
He done lost his mind. Joe, come down here in South Georgia.
So
We'll
let's-
show you what a culture's all about. Anyway,
Jacksonville
so we're
is the
going
last,
to
but
Carolina
After the
is number
Giants, you have
6.
the Panthers.
No, yeah, you got the Panthers,
Yes.
and then you've got the
New
Jets,
York.
and the Giants have another pick. Right
They
after
traded
that,
away last year.
and then you got
Then
the
the
Falcons,
Falcons.
and then you got Washington. So,
So
who do you trade
this
back?
draft is not quarterback heavy.
Right.
Okay.
So who needs a quarterback? The
Giants.
Jets-
I would say the Giants.
Texans
Giants.
need a quarterback.
I'm finna
The
tell you how to-
Giants need a
The
quarterback.
Giants got one last year. They got no, not the Giants. The Jets got one last year.
Exactly. So the Giants need one, and they have 2
but-
first-round picks.
Houston needs one too.
But you know what could happen?
What about-
the Giants? The Giants could pull up.
Panthers?
Look,
What about
look,
the
look.
Panthers?
Think about this. Think
They
about
have
this.
Sam Darnold.
Giants
Oh,
have
that's
2.
right, they
Giants
do.
have 2 first-round picks. So Giants trades their first-round pick up to you at number 1, so they can get whoever they want,
Who's
right?
the Giants quarterback
Number
this year?
2.
Look that up.
Can you look that up?
Number
for us?
2, they'll give away a number 2 and a number 3.
If they will,
So-
if they give us 2 first rounders, yeah,
Yeah,
give
that's
to
what
the
I'm
Giants
saying.
To get number 1.
Give us
But
your
is
first
this
2, and
one-
you can get the first one.
Is this Pittsburgh quarterback worth that? 'Cause
That's
really-
if that's who they want. What do they need?
Who
What do
is
they
it?
want? So
They had Mike Glennon, Jake Frum, and
Jake
Jake
Fromm.
Fromm.
He played the other day.
Yeah.
Mike Glennon's a journeyman. He's been
Yeah.
on every
I don't
team.
know why I
on
can't
earth.
remember
Fromm's a
Fromm.
freshman.
Fromm's a baby.
Yep.
He's
He is
year.
first
Mike
year.
Glennon's injured, so they really only have Jake Frum and Daniel.
So they need a
So
quarterback.
Fromm
Daniel
is
Jones came. Where did he come from? Daniel Jones. He was a first round pick a couple years ago and stunk it
He
up.
petered out. That's what happened. And then what happened with
6th overall in the draft by the Giants.
so it is. He's just been a
He's
Giants.
a first round
the
pick
whole-
that just didn't quite cut it.
Right.
Because Jake Fromm started the last game.
the last game, and he
And
actually
he's,
didn't do too
again-
bad. They said he did pretty. They said he did pretty good.
He's again an undersized kid for a quarterback.
Our Scantron's up on the board there, Christopher.
Point it.
It can be.
All right, let's see our Scantron. Everybody, you see this Scantron right here beside Tracy?
QR code?
That QR code.
We call it
See,
QR
they
code.
call it QR
He
code. I
calls
call
it
it Scantron.
It's not a thing.
It is a thing. That's it right there.
I told him
we
it
made that
sounds
in this
like-
office. We can call it whatever
said,
we
if
If you
want to call
scan
it.
that, it'll
It's a
take
QR
you
code
to
on my
our
phone. I said,
website.
Well, it'll take you to a bunch of stuff.
Well,
I told him it
take
sounds
you
like
to the
we should say
website.
Gravitron.
Yeah.
From the website, you can look at all the Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
You can look at the
Yeah.
merch store. You can buy
does.
some Armchair sports
YouTube.
merchandise.
Merch.
The YouTube where you can look back at old things and
Old things.
and so in 2 weeks when Georgia wins 35-14, you can look back and go
24 to 10.
Hey, Tracy picked that, and I will
Yeah.
be so correct.
We won't say.
We need to get your pick.
He don't know anything about football. He's about like Chris.
So correct.
26 to 21.
I'm
Alabama.
not sure.
Ooh!
But you
This
tell
is
Dana
what-
that.
This isn't what I want. This is what I think. Right? I've seen
Okay.
Georgia lose to Alabama.
Whose
three
child are
times.
you?
So 21
He's
to
my child.
26?
He's smart. There you go.
Whoa.
There we go.
Anyway,
Chris, what's yours?
What?
What's
you
your
ain't been
pick?
listening to this whole show. What's
No,
your
I
pick?
haven't. I've been listening, but I've been listening and listening and
What's
listening.
your pick?
So, what pick?
What's your pick
For the score.
for the national championship game? Georgia and Alabama.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's who's playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
National-
definitely Georgia.
Okay.
What?
What's the
Give us a score.
12-7.
it's gonna be a close game for Chris.
He knows nothing about football.
So Georgia's either
13
gonna
to
kick
7.
4
Yeah,
field
exactly.
goals.
Okay. 13 to 7. We'll say 13 to 7.
No. What did he say? What did he say?
12 to
Put
7.
12.
So Georgia's
He said
either gonna
12.
kick 4
Okay.
field
He
goals or
said
lose 2
12. We
extra
got to give him
points.
12.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Never know.
I don't
They
know what
can
that
miss a
means, but
field
okay.
goal.
What
They
did
don't
he get?
know.
What Sylvia give us?
Sylvia said
She got it.
24 to 10.
24 to 17.
Yeah.
So she gonna
24.
give
There
Bama
you
2
go.
touchdowns and a field goal.
Look, I'm gonna give them all more than that because I've seen them both play.
Listen, Georgia's
Yeah.
got a good little field goal kicker now. He's pretty accurate.
Yeah, he is. He,
Well, here's the thing. If they're both really good,
Uh-huh.
that means they can't score on each other very well, right?
Well, and they shouldn't. They
They
shouldn't.
shouldn't be
though.
able
They
to.
shouldn't be
They
able
should be
to.
able
That's
to.
what I was saying. Might be closer to the truth than the rest of us.
Who? Chris? Come on.
From not
Don't give
scoring
him no
against each
credit.
other.
Don't give him no credit. Accidentally.
All right, moving on. Last thing, I was just
Okay.
dogging out my Jaguars, and because I'm a season ticket holder, I can do that
That's right.
because it's a free country and I can say what I want.
Yes, because you could have
Remember when
meltdowns
it was
and
all the
really
girls show,
trouble.
I kept telling you Urban Meyer needed to go.
Yep.
He went right after
Yep.
that because evidently he's a
Because she
dirtball.
willed it.
I willed
She
it.
willed it.
She willed it and it went away.
I spoke it into existence that we got rid of Urban
I'm
Meyer.
willing it, but
Yep.
she ain't going away. Oh, did I say that out loud?
So they are on the hunt for a new coach.
Hunt.
could do it.
Hunt.
You could do
So
it.
No.
they have
Listen to this. I know
they
who's
have
going to get the
scheduled
job.
interviews with Doug Peterson, who coached the Eagles a few years ago when they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Not a bad choice. Former head coach Jim Caldwell. I'm not sure where he came from. They requested to interview Byron Leftwich. Bad idea. Not that I think Byron's bad, but I think you need an established coach. Don't bring somebody who's never done it before.
Yep.
But hire Byron for your offensive coordinator. I'd be down with that.
He ain't leaving where he's
But
at.
is Byron that good, or is he just coaching Tom Brady, which makes him look that good?
Tom says he is, but then again, Tom said hire Antonio Brown too. So
So, Jim Caldwell used to be the Lions coach. Well, I don't know how good that is. The Lions.
The
they're
Detroit
still,
Lions had
yeah,
it
they're
forever.
still at the bottom of the barrel.
2017. He was the Lions coach from 2014
Okay.
to 2017.
So
Okay.
they got Byron Leftwich, Todd Bowles, who's the Buccaneers defensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, Dallas's offensive coordinator, Dan Quinn,
No, Dan
the
Quinn
Cowboys
from-
defensive coordinator. He declined the interview. He said he wouldn't want to leave where he was.
Well, and there's
So
also
how bad is your team when people decline the chance to
Well,
be the head coach?
no, that's not
Caldwell,
the
assistant coach of the Dolphins.
that's not the problem. See, the problem is
And Green Bay's OC, Nathaniel Hackett.
I have one friend who's a Dolphin.
here's the thing.
One.
Mike. All my family's Dolphin friends except for me. My big thing of what you're saying here,
How do you say
they're
Matt
all
Eberflus?
rejects. Every one of these coaches been rejected from every other team.
But every coach in the NFL has coached and gotten fired from somewhere.
The problem with
That's
this.
just how it works.
Or coached
Okay.
1 or 2 years and left to go.
So why don't we get somebody who's never been a head coach before,
Because
but
we
that
just-
wait, let me finish. But that has coached in the NFL, like an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator.
Well, there's a bunch of
Here.
those players.
Gotcha. You.
Exactly.
For
So
like a head coach
that's
position.
what I'm talking
But
about.
every one of these people who have
The
coordinated
offensive coordinator.
offensive defense have gotten fired from jobs too.
The offensive coordinator.
So Kellen Moore's been
From-
fired from
Everybody's been
Dallas?
fired.
No, he is not. He was-
Everybody has been fired.
Dallas. Look at Kevin Moore. Find out where
Let's
he
look
came from.
and see
No,
where he
hasn't.
came from before
You know, how
Byron
to, get a
Leftwich
job,
wasn't
you know how
fired.
to get a job as a coach in the NFL?
But
You get one job, you could be the worst coach on earth, but somebody else will hire you.
you
'cause
get
that's how it
added
works.
into the circle jerk. That's what you get
And
added into.
somebody will hire you.
That's
so here, I'm
because-
going for this
I think
guy.
that's in
This-
football in general.
I didn't see this name before. but
Nathaniel
this is-
Hackett?
This is my favorite.
Yeah.
He was our offensive coordinator.
Yep, he was, and then he went up
Evidently,
to.
he's very
Green
well
Bay.
respected in the NFL, though. Colts defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus.
That's why I couldn't say his name.
Who?
How do you
If
say
all else,
Eberflus?
that
I
will be
literally
a fun
just
name to
named
make
I said,
fun
how do
of
you
next
say
year.
Matt Eberflus?
Matt Eberflus. He's the Colts defensive coordinator. They've requested
Okay.
an interview with
Look
him.
at that. Why can't you take Strong?
Matt Eberflus.
With that plays
that
that
word.
plays for the coaches.
Charlie
Charlie
Strong's
Strong.
already on the Jaguars.
I know. Won't you promote him to the head
Because
coach?
they need to fire every coach, top to bottom.
You can't
beginning
do-
to
you
end.
can't-
What if
but
they
you
had
can't do
Tim
that.
Tebow
Whole
as a
new
coach?
team.
You can't do that. Though. The
Yes, you
problem.
can.
No, you can't. Well, you can, but you're not. You're definitely not going to be successful for the next 5 years because you got a whole new. Wait a minute. You got to build a whole new culture.
Don't start tagging that word. No.
My whole
no.
point
They say-
is
no.
That
you
they're
can't fire everybody. The new
So
normal.
is you can
Oh,
fire
let's do that.
everybody.
Yeah, let's do that.
You
Let's
can
do
fire
that.
They're saying they're
everybody.
having
Say it
a
out
hard
loud.
time really attracting good,
Nope. The
good
new
head
normal
coach
is that you can
candidates.
get fired from any position, any coaching,
Yeah.
He's
and
been
somebody else will
Cowboys-
fire you.
He's been the Cowboys offensive coordinator since 2019.
Yeah, he was never
Yeah.
fired from anywhere. He was
Not just because he's been with
no, but he was
No,
promoted
but
up.
I thought he was
promoted
fired
up.
from.
Everybody gets
No.
fired.
She's gonna come in and
Has he been
fire.
fi-
Mama
has he
T's
been
gonna come
fired?
in and fire
He
He
everybody.
has not been fired from a job. He has only moved up in his jobs. So while he's
Almost
looking that up,
every
listen,
coach in the NFL
these are
has
words.
been fired.
Who was it you said? Purdue?
He's never coached during a playoff, though.
Purdue? Was it Purdue? This who it came from, these words not used, don't use.
Yeah,
Purdue, they put
Okay.
out
They
a
put-
list of
They put out a list of words that you are phrases
That 20
or that you in 2022
That's
these
out.
are banished words. So let's don't use these words anywhere. All right?
Okay, do it.
Wait, what? No worries.
Not gonna get that one up.
Not giving that one up.
that's younger than
That being said,
your daughter. She says that all the time.
so at the end of the day,
No, nobody says that.
That makes me sad.
Nobody says that.
I'm
Do you?
asking for a friend.
Oh, I can't
I'm asking for a
stand that.
friend.
They'll.
I'm going to say the best one for last. Deep dive.
I don't even know where that comes from or how you even use that in a sentence
Like,
because
when
new-
you're gonna
Deep
research
dive.
somebody, you're
Gonna deep dive
into
somebody.
it.
Anyway, I got a whole
Chris
different
knows what
meaning
a
about
deep
deep
into
dive.
like research or
the new normal.
all
Research.
into it, all into it.
That's a computer
I-
guy thing. Deep dive.
Yes. Well, that's what I was saying. That's like getting all the
I want
info.
to be a computer guy,
The new normal.
so I can do a deep dive.
The new normal. Stop.
No,
I-
That's
Roger.
I'm
terrible.
talking about being on the computer. That's what
Right.
y'all were talking about.
Right, that's-
Y'all went there. I didn't go there.
I did not.
The new
Okay.
normal.
So the new normal.
I can't.
You don't like the new
Nope.
normal? Why? Who says that?
My coworker says that, and I was like, I can't.
Hold on. You're
She's
on
not.
mute.
That's like
I would like to
basically
be
saying
on
you need to be
Hey,
on mute.
you cannot
basically.
use it. You cannot use that word. You cannot use that word. Okay, supply chain.
Can I say you're doing this when you should be doing that?
Yeah, you do it all
Chris,
the time.
help.
Supply chain. The only reason because the supply chains broke down out in the middle of the ocean. And here is the one. I'm telling you, I will not give this up. I don't care what anybody says. This is our tagline, and we'll circle back to that. And we're out. Bye bye.